starts, make sure to look around for the right company to serve you everything you need to know about what's happening around you. That's why you need VOP This Morning, because we will climb this far to give you a voice in what's going on. From news, reviews, politics and the economy, sports and even entertainment. Join us weekdays 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on VOP TV. VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
All right, good morning and welcome to VOP This Morning. It's a good Monday, but some stories in the news are heartbreaking. But we'd rather not start the week on this note, so we'll say a beautiful day it is, and welcome you to VOP This Morning. I'm Moses Humphrey.
Talking about not starting the week with a little of the sad story, I hope you actually went to buy your food at discounted rates.
Oh, no, I did not.
You didn't go?
We'll talk about that one
All
later.
right, nice one. My name is Fina. Okay, Chuku, you're welcome to VOP This Morning on VOP TV.
David Edwin is here saying a very good morning to you wherever you're watching us this amazing Monday morning from. With BG, welcome to VOP This Morning. And like always, we definitely are here to serve you every single information that we can lay our hands on to give you on a beautiful Monday morning like this.
Welcome. Talking about the food markets, it's an interesting one indeed, because in some places we heard that the turnout was very, very massive.
Yeah.
A lot of people turned out. I kept tabs with someone in Surulere, one of the outlets in Surulere there. Unfortunately, they didn't start on time. It was supposed to start at 11.
Oh, okay.
But they did not start on time, and that was as a result of lack of vouchers. Because from what I gathered, they were using vouchers to purchase those items. But in general, I think it went well. The fears of so many people were the fear of people was the fact that there might be stampede, but there was no record of that. So
I also got an information about a particular outlet around Abulegba Axis, where it was said that prices were higher than what you get in the normal market, and because
That's strange.
Because it's higher, of course, it's 50%. They now slashed it.
No,
so, for instance,
government people went to pay 75%. Government had already taken care of 25%.
Oh well, some people did around the axis. They said it's 50%. They had to pay.
But the fact that the government actually put so many things in place to make sure that these food items didn't end up in the wrong hands, I think that actually is a good one. Looking at it from my own view now, the sense that, a lot of things actually are very expensive, you understand. But now they will say something about you can't buy more than 2 loaves of bread for family. For those that want to go there and buy all the loaves of bread and go and resell. Now you can't even do that. And talk about other commodities. I believe there's some things that when you want to get them, you can actually get them from a particular, some markets, like vegetable and other perishable. But I think actually I would say anyway, a good one for the Lagos State and the government of Lagos State and all that. But we need to do more about the food crisis.
All right, but we have a roving correspondent who visited one of the food markets. Let's quickly take a report and see how things panned out. Okay. Well, what we have on our screen there. Messages on X, according to some Nigerians. That one reads, Ugondo Ikotu LCDA witnessed extra high turnout, but the food items were completely not available. People are still in the queue people were in the queue for like 7 hours in anticipation of fresh supply. Government needs to come up with better. Well, I think the government did well. It's the first outing.
Yeah, it's a debut.
Yes.
It's the first outing.
And there's some persons.
There's a possibility that we'll have more outings. Better. These observations will be corrected in better outings. I commend the government for the palliative, but for how long can a family man join the queue for daily bread? I may consider this to be absurd. Well, as long as you need to put food on your table.
Yeah, you have to actually cut down the coat of your ego and do what you have to do for you to put food on your table. Because, okay, now, let's see this way. You don't want to queue, but you have the money to, get the food on the price it's being sold in the market.
In the market, yeah. Oh, well, these are some responses via X. Let's go into the papers now. Before we do so, let's let you into what we'll be talking about this morning. Now, this one has been in the news. Troops continue house demolition in Okwama after brutal murder of military personnel. You do recall that it was made known that on Thursday, some soldiers, 12 soldiers, one commanding officer, and 2 majors and a civilian were killed in Okwama as a result of conflict between the Okoloba people and the Okwama community. Oh well, they have been searched for the perpetrators of this crime, and that has resulted in burning of houses and demolition of property. But anyway, we'll keep our eyes on this one.
Also on our reader this morning, incessant kidnapping. Beware of Jonathan treatment. Ohanaeze Council tells the President Tinubu.
Oh, so much to serve you this beautiful morning. And this, yes, are the topics we will be trailing this month. But before we dive into the conversation, we would join you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. On YouTube, we're at Voice of the People TV, and on other social media platforms, we are at VOP TV Live. Well, we definitely will be diving into the papers just after this quick little break. Stay with us.
بالنظر إلى وجهك الكريم.
It's Ramadan. It's the season of sharing and caring. As Muslim faithfuls all over the world pray and fast, may peace reign all over, especially in troubled regions. Allah's blessing to us all. May the supplication of every sincere heart be heard. Ramadan Kareem, from all of us at Voice of the People Television.
All right, welcome back. So let's dive into the papers. But before we do so, let's let you know that we have joining us in the studio. We have Mr. Akin Fatunke. Good morning to you. Welcome to the studio.
Good morning, Moses. Good morning, Fina. David. Good morning, Nigerians. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, I hope you had a restful weekend.
Yeah, it was quite a quiet one.
A quiet one?
Yes. It was quiet. I made it quiet because there was no light. There was satisfaction to go queue for food. I didn't, but I just felt, and some of the feedback that I'm getting, there has to be continuous improvement. There has to be continuous improvement in our food security responses. Much more solid, it has to be much more integrated. God will help Nigeria out of this.
All right. Well, talking about responses and improvements, some Nigerians have taken it upon themselves to also lend a helping hand and make sure that food is available to those in dire need. And we have one of those Nigerians. Now, before we go into the papers, we'll just quickly speak to this individual. He's one Nigerian who's doing the much he can to make sure that food is available. Well, I've just been informed that we're yet to connect with this individual. But when we do so, we'll speak with him in the course of the program. Now let's get into the papers.
All right, let's just dive into the Vanguard newspaper. Now, the banner headline here reads, Delta killings. Troops lay siege to Okwama and raise more houses. Now, the riders there says, outrage trails murder of soldiers. Military deploys armored vehicles to Bomadi creeks. I've authorized military to fish out perpetrators. That's coming from Tinubu. It's barbaric, unacceptable. Pandef. Officers' sacrifices shall not be in vain. Northern senators tell CDS. Uhobo groups urges probe. Ijo youth condemns killings. Right, that's about the banner headline there and the sub-riders right there at the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. All right, above the nameplate there, you also find another headline there that reads, insecurity hampering food security. Catholic bishops, farmers raise alarm. Edo Guba, APC to unveil deputy governor candidate today. Why it's difficult to market Nigeria globally. This is coming from Obong Atta. Of course, like I said, that's above the nameplate there of the Vanguard newspaper. Other headlines there, you see a major pictorial there of the GMD CEO of UTM Floating Liquidity Natural Gas, Dr. Julius Rome, and of course the OFR presenting the floating LNG model to the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, and that's Mr. Felix Omashola. All right, more headlines are right here at the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. How FG funds petrol subsidy through crude sales proceeds. Interesting one there. And then by the side of the pictorial there, you find another headline that reads, Lagos residents storm food marts amid complaints. Minute you find another headline that reads, devolving more powers to states bring socio-economic development. And this is coming from Governor Mba. Another headline here reads, Ondo 2024, APC leaders kick against commercialization of global primaries. And then there is an editorial by Lakenfa. Indeed, there was hardly any progressive tendency that emerged in Edo State in the last 4 decades without imprint, I beg your pardon. And then the final headline here reads, Nigeria tightens grip on second spot in medals table. You can find that on page 39. And of course, that's talking about sports. Well, that's about all of the headlines right here at the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. We still have with us Mr. Akin Fatike, who definitely will be diving into this headlines. Now, which of these headlines would you want to react to, sir?
The one that affects the stomach. So much hunger in the land. I'm happy that Moses has given a hint that there are good-spirited Nigerians who are coming up to try and do something.
Yeah.
I hope I should be able to expand that to now then say there are religious bodies over time that have been feeding, the poorer of the poor, I dare say. Maybe we need to get to the world level, when we get to the local government level, to kind of supplement what is being done all over. I know for sure in Adamawa State, I know for sure in Borno State, of course not to talk about Lagos State, I know about Oyo State, I know about Abia. Erisco Bumpet just went around to augment. The point for me is simple from the headlines that you have read. Fina and I should perhaps step back a little bit. It's not that we are comfortable, but we look a bit comfortable perhaps. And we should, if we can, as much as possible, allow some others ahead of us. But what I've seen with the likes of Akin, maybe Fina is innocent here, is that as elites, we jump into the queue, we want to go and corrupt the system, and I'm being very practical here. So I'm supposed to buy 2 loaves of bread. I go there, I don't mind. I look for 2 or 3 people, and then we begin to try and see how we can get this 2 or double the situation. And the only way out of it, Moses, is to deploy technology. Your means of payment, you have BVN. It should be able to throw out if the same BVN in a particular day is being replicated elsewhere. By spending a little bit more of money and sifting through the system so that such BVNs can be rejected.
Are you talking about payment for the food market when people go to purchase?
Yes, because
But you know, we also have network issues. So if we're going to make good use of BVN and use the internet and use bank transfers,
and we don't have power,
or the bank or the network in the bank goes down, then people will not be able to purchase food.
I agree with you absolutely. So what then do we do?
I think the idea of of vouchers,
Yes.
you go there, we know you're not purchasing more than a certain amount, so every other person can buy. You're not there to purchase and resell, so you give a certain number of vouchers, a certain number of amount of cash. You're given a voucher, and then you go in with that voucher, purchase the bread, the gari, the rice, the pepper, the tomato.
I apparently must have missed that bit.
That was the situation. Yeah, that was the situation all around. But then in Surulere, like what I observed was that in Surulere, there were no vouchers on time. Like the same problems we have with elections when there's no ballot paper. So there were no vouchers on time. People got there, and the queue just kept extending because we were waiting for vouchers to be brought in. So that in itself delayed
Moses,
the start of the
please,
program.
Let's be clear. What you are saying is that I can go there with cash,
Yes.
and in exchange for vouchers,
Yes.
I'm afraid I don't feel comfortable with that.
Why so?
I don't feel comfortable with that
Why
because
so?
I have been in this kind of situation. Back in the day when we were doing voucher for Save Us Soul, Help Us Help, insecticide, mosquito nets, anything, I'm afraid, anything that now has the human input in this kind of environment is always convoluted, unfortunately. Moses, if you say to me, and then I'll draw another parallel, our elections, you are supposed to be accredited, you're supposed to be given, a particular number, or you line up and all that kind of stuff. Almost invariably, you see that the BVN is not working, and then you have to move around the system. In moving around the system, then you want to be doing some manual. In doing some manual, it leads to some other things.
I absolutely get it.
Is that therefore saying the introduction of voucher should not help? I think it should just be a stopgap.
Okay.
Moses, technology is like a switch of the gang. Either put it on or put it off. When you put it on or you put it off and something in between is not working, there will be people, at the back end, walking around the clock. We can borrow a lot. The end game at the end of the day is to make sure that supply exceeds demands. That is one. And secondly, Moses, I take cash there to take voucher. You know the real challenge? The real challenge is not so much about the cash or that I'm going to be paying with my card. The real challenge is that I do not have the purchasing power. The poorer of the poorest of the poor don't even have this 5 naira, 10 naira. So, integratedly, we must look at it. Is this in any way, I'm going to be on the back of FINA this morning. Yeah, let's say thank you to Lagos State government. I mean, it's a step in the right direction. We should begin to tweak it, make sure we do it right, do more of our homework. But then at the end of the day, we ourselves should try and be orderly. We should guide the place. We should encourage as much as possible. And then each ward and local government must key in. What is your own contribution? We can't just put it, what is your own contribution within your local area? VOP is in Ajao Estate area, wrong? No, right? Okay, so in Ajao Estate area, are there lands? If you go up a bit north, I know that FAN has some. Can we begin to now then collaborate and then we'll be able to get a few things in there? Right. Finally, in my house, I should be able to grow a few things, and all that kind of stuff.
Individuals, you know, there was that time. There was that time.
Yeah.
Like I was telling somebody yesterday that there was that time where if you needed little pepper to just make some
so make pepper
concussion food, get it around. Yes.
Yeah.
But now nobody pays attention to that anymore.
I guess it's what the what's it called, development actually bring to our doorstep. Because some people actually, we get to the house now, interlocks everywhere. But in my house, at the back of the house, my mom actually still maintained that tradition.
We have that in the house. Yeah. Where I grew up, we had okra, we had ugu, we had pepper, we had
water leaf also,
other
leaves and all that.
Mango,
coconuts,
guava. We had all of that. And it was fun growing up in a place like that. Oh well.
Even with interlocks.
You can still carve out a little farm.
You can begin to plant in pots.
Oh yeah. Right. Yeah.
In bags.
I think we should revisit that. We should revisit that.
Exactly.
Oh well, let's quickly take another paper before we wrap this up. From the Vanguard newspaper. Okay, no, just the Vanguard. Yeah. Okay. Let's see now. Let's go to the Daily Independent. All right. So from the Daily Independent, very very quickly, banner headline here: liquidity squeeze at forex markets to linger, according to experts. On top of the nameplate, we have Serap urges Akpabio to refer budget pardon allegation to EFCC, ICPC, ask him to reinstate Ningi, threatens court action after 7 days. NASU, SANU commend 7-day warning strike. 18th, today is 18th. Yeah. Oh yes, okay. Another bold headline here, Putin wins Russia election in landslide. Interesting. All right then. Beside that one, we have Atiku Obi condemn killing of officers, soldiers in Delta, demand arrest of culprits. I haven't received any salary in 2 years, says Soludo. Retirement benefits. NJC denies requesting money from retired judges. NIMSI assures Nigerians of data security. Again, gunmen attack Kaduna community, abduct 14. I saw this one this morning and I shook my head in, I don't know, disbelief. Really the same Kaduna, and government is saying something must be done, go after the perpetrators, but instead the perpetrators are going after the people. Oh well. FG begins nationwide mass metering projects. All right. Killing of soldiers in Delta, direct attack on Nigerians. Tinubu gives military full authority to bring perpetrators to justice. Lagos FHA partner on affordable housing for Lagos residents. Nigerians in diaspora. All right, these are the headlines from the Daily Independent. And in about 1 minute, 60 seconds, which would you pick, respond to in 60 seconds before we move on to our major talking points?
I must say I'm pleased and glad at the response of the federal government to the killings in Oklahoma or thereabout. And I think government came out straight, clear, and decisive. It is not acceptable. I'm also happy that virtually all the parties condemned the gruesome killing of our gallant troops. No matter what, on no condition should peacemakers in military be killed anywhere in this country. And as it happened in Delta State, it happens in any other part of the country, we must be seen to be combing the same hair equally. It is not acceptable. My heart goes out to them. Mr. President, I think that was a good statement that came from you. It is not acceptable, and the perpetrators must be fished out.
All right, and interestingly, that actually happened to one of what we have been looking at into today, on the radar. All right, but before we observe a quick break, let us just tell you that troops continue house demolitions in Okama after a brutal murder of military personnel who went for peacekeeping in that area. And Okama, if you're wondering, is in Delta State. After this quick break, we'll move straight down into that discussion.
بالنظر إلى وجهك الكريم.
It's Ramadan. It's the season of sharing and caring. As Muslim faithfuls all over the world pray and fast, may peace reign all over, especially in troubled regions. Allah's blessing to us all. May the supplication of every sincere heart be heard. Ramadan Kareem. From all of us at Voice of the People Television.
When your morning starts, make sure to look around for the right company to serve you everything you need to know about what's happening around you. That's why you need VOP This Morning, because we will climb this far to give you a voice in what's going on, from news, reviews, politics and the economy, sports and even entertainment. Join us weekdays 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on VOP TV. VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
All right, we do apologize for that delay. But like we said earlier, we're going to speak with an organization, that decided to assist with providing food to those in dire need. as Nigerians grapple to put food on the table. Government started its own food market in Lagos, but this organization, the Gloryland Global Outreach of the New Gloryland Cherubim and Seraphim Movement Church, Ionia, Houston, Texas? Well, I think that's where the headquarters is. But right here in Lagos, Ogudu, they were giving out food yesterday. Well, we have a representative, Olorun Toba Adeluba, who is a representative of the organization. We have him online. Let's just quickly speak with him. Good morning and welcome to the program. Okay, well, our engineers are trying to rectify a few things there. Well, this organization, you'll tell us more. It's not easy when some individuals are trying to get things to put on their table. Some of us are given to those in need. It's really interesting. Well, good morning once again. I do understand that we've been able to establish contact with you, Mr. Olorun Toba Adeluba, or is it Prophet now? Good morning and welcome. All right, I'm struggling to hear you, but if you can hear me, if you can.
Okay, I can hear you.
Oh, great, fantastic. So quickly, we have a little time to do this. Just tell us more about your church, the church, and the desire to give Nigerians. And how did it go yesterday?
It went well. We thank God for His grace, and the security personnel were on ground. We were able to reach the people who plan to reach, based on the mission and vision of the Gloryland Global Outreach. The numbers we saw, it was so painful that we couldn't even sort everyone. Well, we had a huge crowd yesterday, and we thank God.
Can you give us an overview? What was the number like? Like, how many people turned up?
What is it?
Give us an overview. How many people turned up, according to your data?
People that turned up was around 400, and we catered for only 200.
Oh, wow. Whoa. Oh, you prepared
for... It was a lot, so... It was a lot. And the way we even went about it, we didn't want to do the whole stuff by just posting flyers around for people to come, because getting a lot of crowd, we won't be able to handle that kind of crowd.
But you still got the crowd.
We now went to all the CDs to get the list of people that if they know that they are vulnerable, people that they are in need. We collected their names. Even with that, with those lists, for all the CDs in our community, even with that list, we still have over 100 people that came that their name were not on the list.
Wow. Now, were food items being sold, or were you giving them out for free?
I can't hear you.
Were food items being sold, or were you giving them out for free?
No, it was not sold. It was given for free of charge. A 5 kg of rice, parboiled rice, and one bottle of 750 ml of granite oil.
Oh, wow.
Was given out for free. We made provision for 250 rather.
Okay.
And we were able to know we don't have extra. We don't have people that will come, their name will not be on the list. That they are really in need. Like somebody who came and was like, when he got his own ticket, the food stand, he had to make a call. I was standing beside her. He had to make a call to her husband. Hello, husband, please don't go again. Don't go to that place. Like, you want to go and beg your enemy for food. I've gotten a tally. I was highly touched with the kind of things people are going through at this period. But I was so happy that he got solved and he had a little baby. So we had a lot of experience. We had a lot of people, reviews from all of them that this one reached the people we intended to give. And it was a great success.
I feel like breaking a tear here because truly Nigerians are suffering. And your organization, the Gloryland Global Outreach of the New Gloryland Cherubim and Seraphim Movement Church, decided to cater for Nigerians. It's a laudable one, I must say. It's a laudable one. But take us the process. The process. Did you give out tallies? The tallies, was it to to determine what each person gets, or to know when each person arrived?
No, we have a team of professionals that have to go through the list of what the CJ submitted. We have to move around to look for the address and their location to really verify whether they are what given that source.
Okay.
You understand? So we now streamline those lists. At the gate, we give them a gate pass. When you get that gate pass, gives you access to the compound.
Okay.
And then after getting that gate pass, you go for inspection again. They will look at you well before they give you a food tally. So it was a food tally. Now you now take to the food distribution point.
How were you able to avoid stampede?
Now the one we did, that was the main reason, because we had to have a meeting with the Ojota police, Ojota police station. Okay. So what we needed to do was to create a traffic, a point whereby it's not that when you enter the gate directly, you go straight where you are collecting. So and we didn't accommodate more than 50 people at a go inside that place. So there was a movement. People were going out, people were coming in. So the flow helped us control traffic or any stampede, and the presence of the security guys were on ground. So it went well.
So how were you able to also prevent a family from collecting more than once?
Yeah, we have the names of everybody on ground, and those people that didn't write their name, that we didn't give them, we have to get their name and confirm their phone number. So once we have your name, and we see a similar name or another name, you can't use another name because you have to come with a verification ID that shows that this is your name and with your phone number. And what we did from our own part is to collect all the phone numbers we got from all the CDA. We send a broadcast message, a bulk SMS to them to invite them for the program a day before. That was on a Friday. So on Saturday, once you tell me your name, I'll tell you, you get a message, said yes, okay, let me see the message. We'll confirm each message.
And you did that. And you did that for 250 people.
Yeah, for 250 people.
Wow,
that's a massive.
That's a lot. That's a lot of work there. Okay, well, those are pictures from the event. It looks very orderly, very orderly, if you ask me. Well, it's congratulations to you. This is we do appreciate you. Now, is this going to continue? Are you going to do this next weekend or something?
Thank you.
Is this going to continue? I'm asking. Is it a one-off? Is this a one-off, or will there be a continuation?
There's going to be a continuation. We're even planning on getting all the videos. We're focusing on all the videos now in Oshope local government. That's going to be Alakwed as a location. We're still working on that. And I know before maybe after Easter, before the end of 2 months or so, we're coming back again to see all the videos.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you very much. We've been speaking with Olorun Toba Adeluba, a member of Gloryland Global Outreach of the New Gloryland Cherubim and Seraphim Movement Church, Ayonu. Thank you very much for being on the program.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right, then. So let's get into our conversation this morning. Now, troops deployed to Okwama community in Uheli local government, Uheli South local government area of Delta State, continued the demolition of houses following the brutal murder of military personnel, including a commanding officer, 2 majors, 1 captain, 12 soldiers, and a civilian. In total, 17 individuals, human beings, lives lost during a rescue mission last week. Now, reports indicate that the military has occupied Okwama with numerous houses already demolished. The violence stemmed from an age-old land dispute with youths from Okoloba allegedly ambushing and killing 3 Okwama youths. And then in a retaliatory move, Okwama youths reportedly held an Okoloba indigent hostage, prompting a swift action from the Joint Task Force. Well, the President of Nigeria, President Bola Tinubu, has condemned the killings of military personnel. A lot of Nigerians have also condemned this dastardly act. The President is denouncing the perpetrators as cowardly and advocating for their punishment Now, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and the Labour Party's Peter Obi for the 2023 election also demand justice for the slain soldiers. Now, Senator Ned Nwoko of Delta State, Governor Sharif Omoriwori expressed their condolences to the military and families of the deceased, and they're vowing to capture the culprits. Additionally, human rights lawyer Femi Falana has urged the federal government to intervene and stop reprisal attacks by soldiers in Okwama, calling for an end to the cycle of violence. Oh well, we have with us in the studio, we still have with us in the studio Mr. Akin Fatunke, and we do expect Ambassador Dr. Roy to join this conversation. Ambassador Dr. Roy is Group CEO, August I Limited, and Security Outreach. He's a security expert. Well, let's stay with Mr. Fatunke. Now, there's a side to this that not many people are talking about. It is, first off, what would you think would give Nigerians that boldness to attack military personnel? You do recall that in Port Harcourt, in Rivers State, there was an attack also on policemen. They were killed. We're still trying to sort that one out, and then we have another one. We have our military men also being attacked in the north. Is it that Nigerians have lost regard for those saddled with the responsibility of defending the territorial integrity and upholding law and order? Is that how they've been debased and no regard anymore?
Moses, it's unfortunate. My heart, my prayers goes to the families of the slain military officers. By extension, my heart also goes to perhaps the civilians who are getting the touch. They are innocent, but they are getting the touch of all this. I will say to you that even before this, I think the deaf can hear, the blind who have seen has seen, and anybody with the adequate dose of emotional intelligence will tell you that the quote unquote the Nigerian nation we have bred and we have in our midst some human beings, law and order has fallen irretrievably. Somebody will say the people at the top, at the helm of affairs, are doing their things. The middle class people and religious sects are doing their things, and then people down the bottom are also doing their things. I take you back to a few years back. A good intention with the NSAS. Hoodlums came. In Lagos, as an example, they went to Yaba Left. By Yaba Left, I'm talking about the psychiatric hospital. So, in angst, took the bed and beddings, sacked the whole place, took medications that should be served to people that had mental issues. What's that saying to you? We've lost that humanity. We have many churches and many mosques and many shrines. We preach, but unfortunately, what we preach, we don't walk the talk. And you ask me, what is it that will make an average person look at this particular person in uniform and then decides to, it was very graphic.
Very graphic.
Ripped the intestine
very
out,
graphic.
took out
I don't even want to go into the detail.
and all that kind of thing. Is that killing? Means that it's barbarism, and our orientation should again get back to the family level. The family level is broken. Husband and wife, or intended husband and wife, unwanted pregnancies, shoving down babies down the toilet pit. All these have now grown and conflagrated. Then again, Moses, is there a perception that this military in uniform are now being seen to be one-sided? So
I was coming there.
So Okrobia township, we have land dispute. We are hearing a perception that a particular person at the top is going to come around with military and all that. It also happens elsewhere. He said, "Do you know who I am? I'm going to call the military out to you." So we need a total reorientation of the whole architecture.
Interesting you went there, because I was going to come to that, because I'm trying to wrap my head around what would give the youths, certain individuals, the guts to want to do that. But the story we're hearing, which is not being reported really by the media, is the fact that when the Okoloba people attacked the Okama, they've been rivals for quite a long time, fighting over land issues and all of that. They've had reprisal attacks over time, and they attacked, they killed a few people, and the Okwama youths took an individual, a certain individual. He wasn't killed. He was abducted. He was held hostage. And the story we're hearing is a certain Okoloba individual who is highly placed in the military took the military to rescue this individual. And that, I believe, is the civilian that was killed alongside. Now, what I saw in the research, certain individuals were complaining that, look, when they came to rescue this individual, it wasn't just, hey, take this person and leave. It was more like some other things happened. Some people were killed. But that's not being reported. That's what we're hearing. That some people were killed when they went to rescue the hostage. And when they were leaving, that was when the youths, the Okama youths, decided to ambush them, to, attack them as well. So they ended up killing these soldiers and majors and soldiers and officers in the manner that they did. Now, we now see that, there's been the military, is being accused of combing the town, demolishing structures, burning structures. Now, can you take us back to 1999, when a similar incident happened in Odi in Bayelsa State?
Yes, we're very interested to go back to Odi and talk about Obasanjo and Odi. But before then, I will just say to myself first, so start with me. I am cautious. I like to see this investigation that is going on, that should be made very open, that should be very sincere, and that should be truthful. Conspiracy theories will
Here and there.
keep on going. I also had it, and I did a bit of a research. I would even say that Anthony Abbo, who was the hostage, held in hostage, also allegedly is related or maybe a brother to a senator. This power thing that goes beyond the brim. And then, of course, when things go beyond the brim, it will naturally spill. Reprisal or no reprisal? I even heard that it was not on Okoma land allegedly. And that when we were going back on the river, the Forcados River, they did this hideous thing and then dumped them in the river. It's wrong. 24 wrongs cannot make a right. And no matter how you detest the man or the woman in uniform, that uniform should still be a symbol of authority. Now, any human being, not necessarily a military, that has stolen from you, or you say, it's a thief and all that, you put tie around that person's neck and then you do jungle justice and all that, it's still wrong. No matter how you want to justify it, that you take this particular person to the police station, the police will compromise. That notwithstanding, decency says we should do things in proper way. Odi. Obasanjo was quoted as saying that soldiers were sent in there and they were ripped apart. And in ripping them apart, before the soldiers, the police had gone. And then the soldiers, what did you expect a constituted authority to do when life has become intractable? So he sent in people there and they leveled the whole place. In leveling the whole place, I even had a loss. I'm Yoruba. One of the best number 4 you can get anywhere in the world in terms of soccer. Maxwell Yebufra, his house was razed. We were not able to trace anything.
You were able to trace anything, like you couldn't find the body?
The body, the house.
Till today?
Till tomorrow. I wish till today.
No, that's interesting because I was
so many people. Now, the government came high-handed. We might say, at the end of the day, a semblance to the Israeli, the Gaza. Why did you start it?
What
in
is
the
the
first place?
difference between what happened in OD and what is happening now in the bid to capture those responsible for the killing of the soldiers?
I haven't seen much difference. There is not much difference. What normally should happen is go out there, talk to the locals, talk to the chiefs, bring out these the perpetrators who are hiding within you. That whistle blowing was going to happen in OD. The communities decided that we are going to shield. The communities decided that, we're going to find a way to try and hide you. Likewise to what we are finding in Oklahoma. The truth must be told. Our traditional institutions must live up to the plate. We must find a situation where if the wrong person runs to you, even if it is your kith and kin, you should not want to shield that kind of person. And the culturation should start from now. Don't do this. There are certain things you should not do. And should be made to understand that if you do this, the whole of our family is going to get wiped off. Now, if you did that, and they didn't answer, they didn't hit to you, you should be the first to know, then just pull that person out there. Yes, no, I've told you, I've mentioned it, this is it. By the time we begin to see things like that, look, it is unacceptable, no matter how you want to look at it, for anybody to take the lives of our military the way it was taken.
Now, what measures at this point do you think can be implemented to build trust and cooperation between the security forces and community residents at this time? Because from what we hear, there's a lot of distrust from the people in the community. So what measures can be implemented now to rebuild trust and cooperation?
You will not believe this. My forte is communication. You ask me what is the link. Communication. Gathering ourselves, whether we are churchgoers, whether we are mosque-goers, whether we are, even we are association of prostitutes, association of Yahoo Yahoo. The truth is that communications must be clear. And it starts from the household level. I'm going to come to the top. From the household level, from the ward level, political associations, just name them. Every school, there has to be a talk about what is is there, but what is wrong and what is right. Certain things that should not happen. Can we then begin? Another point is to begin to enumerate ourselves. Yeah, we wait for the national population census to come in, but on your streets, in your neighborhood, we begin to see faces that are not familiar. We ask, who are you? What do you do for a living? Can we begin to notify? You come in the thick of the night. The head of the CDA, as the case might be, now begin to ask questions. We almost participate in governance at that level. Okay, no, finally, governance at household, yes, household level, family level, at ward level, political level, and we must begin to see good vibes from the state government and state actors and then the federal actors. Okay, now I am happy. We have not allowed politics. David, I'm sorry. Okay. Back to your question. What should we begin to do now? We should be humanist. I'm glad that irrespective of our political divides, we are all united in saying what happened should not happen. Okay. Can we begin to replicate that, talk about it? Yes, I know there is so much unemployment in the land. I know there is this, there is that, but that does not warrant what happened to those military personnel.
And Mr. King, now I want to ask you this, though it's going to be more like a two-in-one question, but have to be fast about that because of press of time. Now the thing is, during this when we're going through the stories, the way they analyze it, there was a part that says there was a call on the military in that region to come for, intervene, more like these people are coming with us, what's it called, the security personnel who needed to come help or intervene in this particular case. And, the person responded. Now, does it mean that, there was an amnesty signed in Delta State, or rather, pull down your gun and get involved and all that. So they actually pull down the gun. Is it that the amnesty did not really work in Niger Delta? That's the first one. Now, the second one is this. Looking at Nigeria and the way the constitution is, the military actually have their major role to be manning the borders in terms of any external, invasion in the country. We have the police, we have the civil defense corps and others to help out with the issues happening internally. But now that you find out that any, even checkpoints have the military there. You have military more like entering into, the suburb, the regions where more like it's not really part of their jurisdiction to start with, or kind of. Now, do you think also the government need to look into it, by making sure that they restore? Because most people will be like, I beg me to not get this thing anymore. No, talking like that, Now, do you think the government actually need to come back into this and help to restore the dignity of the military?
Fina, great questions. And I'll be very direct with you. It's not for me. Yeah. It's not a question of government has to. Government has to. We have to. We have collectively have to take a decision on this. One, the state of insecurity in the country is beyond what any government can put a finger on. We have lost it. We are not capable of securing lives and property. That's unfortunate. No doubt about that, and it goes without saying. And what I expect from a reasonable government, a responsible government, is to do its what? Okay? You know the threats, you hardly have any opportunities again. You can't continue to depend on or a constitution that is not working. You can't continue to be using state force because the people are going to rise against you. So we must get around the table. One word for it is the fact that Nigeria is not working in that direction, and so many other directions. We must get back to it. I'm happy that one of the responses that I am seeing from the APC government led by Bola Ahmed Tinubu is now to say that, look, can we begin to look at state police, pros and cons? Are we ready for it? Is that what we should be going for? So that's number one. Initially, you talked about the amnesty. Don't we know that all what we are trying to do is just to do emergency response and not going to the roots of the problems we have? Okay, come and drop your arms and ammunitions, and the guns that were trained on those soldiers, they open fire. Where did those guns come from? We are merely trying to deceive ourselves in this direction. We are not, in my mind, very integrated in looking at those problems. Shotguns and arms. We are looking at Oklahoma, we are looking at Delta State. It's all over the place. Go to the north, go to the southwest, go to the southeast, go to central. It's permeated.
Right.
And we are all sitting on that keg of gunpowder. What do we need to do? Government, responsible government, I dare say, must now then come and say, because these things are not working, let's all sit around the table again and take critical decisions. Not just on the security, on our economy, on how we can still commingle in a way that we are able to secure ourselves in a better way. And Nigeria has become so ungovernable. Now we are hearing Oklahoma. The next we are going to hear somewhere in the north or in the southwest. It's just not acceptable. Now that we are still trying our best, okay, at least to try and contain the situation, I'm glad with the kind of communication that I am seeing. The Delta State governor came out clearly, belongs to the opposition.
Now,
he came out clearly to say this is not
where has the
acceptable.
Delta State governor been when the communities have been having clashes, have been killing each other, we've been having attacks and reprisal attacks? What is the role of government to ensure that this does not continue?
Yes, local government administration. Don't we have a local government in there? Don't we have kings or whoever is the head of all those places? I mean, from what we are hearing, it's been on. You remember the Ife?
Should we allow it to continue?
You remember the Ife Modakeke thing? In the East, there are communities that always fight on issue of land and what have you. So we need to get back to making sure all these institutions, whether quasi, whether real, they work. What do they preach in the churches and the mosques? The pastors and the imams in those areas don't know that there is a dispute. I'm happy you try to put it point blank to the governor of Delta State, the governors of Delta State all this while. What
and the traditional leaders as well. Let's not leave
what
leave them
measures
out.
have you taken to make sure that you settle amicably?
Okay.
Usually you find
Well,
some
we
of
are-
these
we are-
leaders
we are pressed
taking
for time.
side.
We are
And
pressed
when they
for
take
time.
side, you exacerbate the
Things get worse.
The wahala.
Well, we are pressed for time, so we have to wrap this conversation up as we move to the other conversation round.
Okay,
Now.
so looking at the state of the nation, incessant kidnapping, beware of Jonathan treatment. Ohanaeze Counsel tells Tinubu.
But Jonathan treatment, that seems to be something now. Jonathan treatment. We'll talk about this one when we come back. Let's go on this very quick break. We'll be back in a bit.
Welcome back. It's still VOP this morning on VOP TV. The Ohanaeze Ndibo Youth Council worldwide has urged President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to address the nation's security challenges decisively. In a statement Sunday, the group's national president, Mazi Oku Nnabuike, cautioned President Tinubu against facing what he termed as a Goodluck Jonathan treatment if swift action is not taken. Nnabuike heightened recent abductions across the country as part of a deliberate attempt to undermine public confidence in the government. Nnabuike emphasized the need for President Tinubu to issue clear ultimatums to security heads and take decisive actions if results are not achieved within the expected time frame. He stressed that immediate action is necessary to prevent further embarrassment and potential international repercussions. The group has expressed concern over brazenness of recent abductions and called for urgent intervention to avoid a situation akin to past security crisis. Recent incidents, including the abduction of school children in Kaduna State and demands for exorbitant ransoms, have heightened concerns over national security, as bandits target communities, demanding large sum of money and resources from hostage and for their release. The escalating insecurity underscores the urgent need for proactive measures to safeguard citizens and restore confidence in the government's ability to address security challenges. In Kuriga, Kaduna State, bandits holding 287 school children captive have demanded a 1 billion ransom, threatening to kill the victims within 20 days if payment is not made. Additionally, in the Gonigora area, bandits have also abducted people and also demanded for 40 trillion naira for the release of the 16 abducted residents, with community leader John Yusuf revealing requests for even including 11 Hilux vans and 150 motorcycles as part of the ransom. In the studio, we still have Mr. Akin Fatunke, who is a chartered accountant and also a public affairs analyst, to help look into this matter. Now to you, Mr. Akin. This Ohanaeze Ndibo Youth Council, they are calling on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu not to follow, or rather to treat insecurity the way a past administration did. What do you make of this call by Ohanaeze Ndibo Youth Council?
The message is clear. Any government in power at any point in time's main responsibility is safeguarding of life and property. The coloration of the message becomes a bit political, in my honest opinion, and when you begin to allege you shouldn't have the Jonathan treatment, so we should be talking about having the Buhari treatment also, or the Obasanjo treatment, because I know progressively things have continued to get worse. What I read from the message as a communications consultant is the fact that beyond what Bola Tinubu as a person can do is to begin to lead by example, begin to set the right tones, begin to look at the low-hanging fruits, begin to help build the trust and confidence.
Is there the possibility that he's not doing that and it's looking like he is also treating this with kid gloves as assumed by some quarters? Because this statement practically is saying that. Is there the possibility that he also is not doing anything practicable as concerning insecurity?
It will be most untrue to say he's not doing anything. What if you say he's doing something is not enough? Yes. Can anybody come in with the state of the parlous situation that we found our country and then will be able to do something? Even if he spends 24/7 of his time looking at security alone, things have gone irretrievably bad. My disagreement is, to read too much of politics into this. And I say this decidedly and responsibly. I know the Jonathan treatment that the the Ohanaeze
Youth Council.
are saying that, yeah, if it happened to Jonathan, well, it has well happened to you. They are two different individuals, I dare say, and their political sagacity, like it or not, is by way different. What I am reading is exactly, David, what I am saying is that, look, what they are telling you, Ohanaeze is saying that, look, we need much more decisive action. In making decisive action, we want to begin to see good examples surrounding you. Okay. We want to begin to see good outings surrounding your government, the National Assembly, the states that you govern. We need to begin to now see much more concrete things. It should not be such that you control more states. And that's not to say that the other parties too don't control states. Can we begin to see it in such a way and manner that the subnational governments too are doing something?
Talking about
the guys are talking about, and I'm very consistent here. They are talking about Bola Tinubu. They are not talking about the state governors.
Mr. Akin.
And the state governors also have a great, if not greater stake on this matter.
Mr. Akin, what they actually
That is, in my opinion, the politics.
Right.
Everybody is looking at the center. So I don't have a problem. Do the Jonathan treatment, and then you get in there, you find a situation where you don't even have a ground to stand up.
Looking at this, Mr. Akin, they called on the government saying that they wouldn't want the insecurity issue to mar this particular government administration, their effort. Yes. They also went ahead to ask the president to, if maybe after giving ultimatum to the security chiefs, the heads, on how they are going to apprehend the people who are causing all those insecurity issues in the country, if they fail to, that issue, or he should also call them to maybe resign or take back the position from them and give to another person. Now, we have to look at it this way. In 2021, there was this insecurity issue that happened in the country, and there was also a video backing that up, and the government actually was not happy over that particular finding, because those people said their reason for doing whatever thing they did was to get at the government. You understand? Now, I'm talking about the kidnappers that went to, Jangabi to kidnap people in Zamfara. Now, when you come back again to this particular one, the way they abducted Kaduna pupils and students and all that. Now, do you actually see this call to still be the way it is? Because they are calling on the government not to allow the insecurity happening in the country to mar his administration.
Calling on the government not to allow insecurity is only. It's, it's not parallel. Goes beyond. But going further than that and saying that we can't call the security chiefs, he has not called the security chiefs. What happened to Buhari when we kept on saying change the security chiefs, change the security chiefs? He didn't change them. Eventually he changed them. Did anything change? I am saying we need to get to the root of the problem. The root of the problem is that Nigeria has become ungovernable.
Now,
we do not have the same vision.
Sorry to interrupt.
We do not have the same vision.
I have to chime in at this point.
The same values.
The Jonathan treatment being mentioned here. You do recall when the Chibok girls were taken.
Yes.
In droves. It was such that the government was seen not to be doing enough to secure Nigerians, and we had foreign bodies, we had wives of presidents, we had individuals brandishing the Bring Back Our Girls banner, and that in itself watered down the seriousness of the Jonathan administration. And you do know that before that time, certain individuals were said to have mouthed the intention to make the country ungovernable for that administration. And that was done. Now, I think I asked you this, I don't know if it was you, but somebody on this show, if what we are seeing happening around the country is a deliberate attempt to make the country ungovernable for the Tinubu administration. Now, the Jonathan treatment here, again, as being perpetrated by Ohanaeze and Igbo, if nothing is seen to be done decisively and on time, this administration will be seen as not being good enough or strong enough to secure Nigeria and Nigerians. This rests at the table of the man at the helm of affairs.
Yes.
How is he able to bring to, be the master strategist that he is purportedly, that he purportedly is, to bring everybody to the table and ensure that there are decisive actions being taken to curb this number of school children being kidnapped? 300, 200, 287. It's beginning to look like somebody somewhere is deliberately trying to make this country ungovernable for this administration. Don't you think so?
Precisely. And that is the crux of the matter. That is the essence of what I'm saying. Are we one? Do we look life within the same prison? During the Jonathan administration, you hinted, somebody said that we are going to make the place ungovernable because we are not in government. Tinubu is there. Others are now saying they are not in government, so they are going to make it ungovernable. I am looking for
not one.
Excuse me. We are looking for a situation where I personally looking for a situation where an Igbo man will be the president of Nigeria. Then you begin to see a situation where others will now then say, no, we are going to make that place Nigeria ungovernable. In other words, I am saying we need to sit down and loosen out a little bit. To say that Nigeria is not negotiable is the greatest lie we can continue to lie against ourselves. So, the only way I will agree with the Ohanaeze youths talking, but that Tinubu need to do something much more concise. We need to break down and decide the future of Nigeria. Those are the crucial aspects. Is Bola Tinubu willing? Is he acceptable to doing that? If the answer is yes, then we can move a travel in the right direction. If the answer is no, and he's going to behave like Obasanjo and say Nigeria is not governable, and then we continue the whole process. If, say, for instance, for lack of good example, an Atiku becomes the president in 2027, is he going to also sit down and say the root cause of the problems we have in Nigeria is that we don't have unity and we don't have trust?
But sorry,
if Peter Obi comes in and does the same thing, unless we go to that route, we'll continue to act
about making the country ungovernable.
Cosmetic.
Is there much difference between the Buhari administration? We had killings and abductions at that time as well.
Yes.
Is there much difference between that administration and what we're seeing now?
No, I think it's even okay. Well,
now within 8, 9, 10 months of this administration,
in 10 months,
I think we've had a whole lot more.
Difficult to say that you want to compare and contrast, but you can see the trend. It's gotten terribly worse. It's gotten terribly worse, not necessarily because those are the helm of affairs are not trying to do their best, but if you continue to do your best and you continue to march on the same spot of backwards, you won't get any results. I am saying to you, and I am making it emphatic, with all the strength that I have within me, in all honesty, that Nigeria is ungovernable. The way it is structured, it's not going to get anywhere. I am not cursing. I am only just telling the truth. I want to live the rest of my life, having lived substantial, years behind. I'm thinking of the future. I'm thinking of you, Fina. I'm thinking of you, Moses. There is no need for me to continue to deceive myself and deceive you. Before we got in here, there was a chieftain of Afenifere, Abraham Adesoya. He made a statement, something similar to what I'm saying here now, that, hey guys, whether in Wanya, whether it's Ango Abdullahi, whether me from South and all that, the way I am seeing the trajectory of Nigeria, things are not going to get better. We better all come together now and do something and say the truth to ourselves. And part of the truth that we needed to say to ourselves is the fact that Nigeria is not a federation. We are running everything but federation. So everybody is now looking for power at the center, believing that when it gets to the center, like Bola Tinubu is allegedly being done now, he begins to help his kinsmen and all that. He's not going to get anywhere. Buhari is going to do the same thing. We need to get back to a position where we say, look, I always use that Dora Kingsley thing. It's courage. We haven't gotten it right. We are not getting it right. We can't continue to preach trust, and it's not getting in there. Plus, the only thing I see, and have been very vehement, on the Bola Tinubu administration, is that I haven't seen the semblance of character, and leading by example that will give measure of trust to people who are looking at it. All this buying of cars, going in private jets, taking people out, asking people to cut their coat according to their cloth, and yet your own cloth is looking very big and all that kind of thing. Doesn't help.
All right.
Exactly.
Well, let's have your concluding thoughts on this, on these issues discussed so far today.
My concluding thoughts.
If you can lump everything together, it would be nice.
Yeah, we must begin to say the truth to ourselves. Those in government presently must lead by example and be bold. Must, like the pilot in the cockpit, know that this plane is going to crash. You don't want to tell every other person. Those in the cockpit who wants to come and take over must realize that unless we all put our hands together and decide on the future of Nigeria, begin to say it as strongly as we can, that Nigeria as presently structured is not going to get us anywhere. Unless what happened in Rwanda is that to happen. So it won't be democracy. You can call it democracy. It has to be a very strong hand, a dictatorship that is pious and will lead by example, will have the right knowledge and the right capacity to be able to take us forward. Unless we do that, I am afraid we might be marching on the same spot, and when you march on the same spot and it becomes mashy, what happens?
You sink.
You sink. May Nigeria not sink. I have hope and aspiration that we have the capacity to be able to do it, but let's put all that forward and Nigeria will be great. Fina, I'm making a prediction here. I hope you are interested in politics.
Yeah,
I'd like to see you as the Senate President of the truly Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Okay.
Yes,
Amen to that. Amen to that. Oh, well, we must say a very big thank you to you, Mr. Fatunke, for coming on the program. He's a communications consultant and also an economist. I read up somewhere that he's also an economist. Well.
And like the Glory Land people, a humanist,
a philanthropist as well.
A philanthropist who believe in doing the right things. And I believe in technology too. David is a king in the Bible, and he's a king here also. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for coming on the program. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll have business, entertainment, and sports being served. Stick around.
الكريم
It's Ramadan. It's the season of sharing and caring. As Muslim faithfuls all over the world pray and fast, may peace reign all over, especially in troubled regions. Allah's blessing to us all. May the supplication of every sincere heart be heard. Ramadan Kareem, from all of us at Voice of the People Television.
الذين من قبلنا
All right, so let's get into the world of business now. The National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, has unveiled a unique opportunity for young tech entrepreneurs to participate in a training program in the United States, spearheaded by Titilokbe Badabosi, Special Assistant to President Bola Tinubu on Youth Initiative. The initiative offers a chance to win $220,000 along with an all-expense paid training program in Silicon Valley. That's a good one. While NITDA encourages tech startups capable of developing groundbreaking tech-enabled solutions to apply for this prestigious opportunity before the deadline, which is March 23, 2024. And you can apply via nsi-ip.com. All small letters, that is nsia-ip.com. Oh well. Away from that business story to another, residents of Lagos State have swarmed designated food markets across the city as part of the Onje Eco initiative launched by the Lagos government. The initiative aims at alleviating economic hardship, offers discounted prices of essential food items such as rice, beans, gari, vegetables, bread, tomato, pepper as well, with markets operating exclusively on Sundays from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. across 57 locations in the state, where residents have praised the initiative for providing much needed relief amidst rising inflation and food prices. All right. And lastly, the federal government, through the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, Bosun Tijani, is set to initiate global discussion to enhance the protection of undersea cables. Now, this move follows recent disruption to undersea cables affecting internet connectivity in Nigeria, Ghana, Togo, and other West African countries. Tijani emphasized the critical role of undersea cables in the digital economy and highlighted the need for international collaboration to safeguard this vital infrastructure. The government's proactive measures aims to ensure the resilience and reliability of undersea cables, essential lifelines in today's interconnected world. All right, those are the business stories we have for you at the moment. We'll take a break. When we come back, we will be dishing out entertainment stories to you. Stay with us.
It's Ramadan. It's the season of sharing and caring. As Muslim faithfuls all over the world pray and fast, may peace reign all over, especially in troubled regions. Allah's blessing to us all. May the supplication of every sincere heart be heard. Ramadan Kareem, from all of us at Voice of the People Television.
Welcome back. It's still VOP this morning on VOP TV. And in entertainment, Wizkid's new album is about to be released. And the international star had a lot get off his chest. The singer told lovers of the old Wizkid and Afrobeat fan not to download his new album. He went as far as warning bloggers against posting his new album. Wizkid also cautioned people tagging him as an Afrobeat artist to stop calling him that. According to him, he makes all genre of music, and he doesn't want all to be labeled Afrobeat, and that's putting him in one box, which he's tired of. The award-winning artist's soon-to-be-released album is titled Morayo. It is a tribute to his late mother, Jane Dolapo Balogun, who passed away in August 2023. David, you're already giggling because I know this one actually is touching you. Don't download my music. Don't call me Afrobeat singer.
Last I checked, if he's not getting his music downloaded, he possibly be getting it streamed.
Are you serious?
But this call for not downloading his music, I hope Wizkid is not. I hope he's ready for what he's trying to start.
But don't you think actually it's high time we understand, or here in Nigeria we know that there are different genre of music, and as a talented artist, people have the right to switch from one part. Because you can remember last week it was Simi. Why can't you change your music every time this style? And Auntie came out to say, you people should need to, give me some slack, allow me to do my thing. This is me. If you don't like me, join other A-list artists that you like. But now Wizkid actually have come up to say, I no be Afrobeat singer alone. I get all that things actually as my own vision. But away from that particular story, our star has given Chris Brown some accolades as she acknowledges him as one of the most supportive African artists. The Rush Krona would join Chris Brown as a special guest on the 11/11 tour in Canada and the United States, and she expressed her excitement about the tour. While speaking about how she found out, our star said she heard about the tour first in Grammy week. And though, as much as she was so excited, she didn't cry. But she will probably cry during her first performance. She also revealed that Chris Brown has been a fan of African music for a long time, and it's beautiful to see him supporting the culture. And she also expressed her excitement to see African music get recognized globally. And that one is coming from our star. Very, very happy that she's going to get one or two collabs with Chris Brown. How do you see that?
Well, it's a good one for her, good one for African music as well, and we're hoping that we get more huge collabs like that.
Now, to you, Mr. Moses, Wizkid is saying, I not be only Afrobeat singer, but now we also found out that the likes of Usher Raymond is trying to come down to, have one or two collabs with Burna Boy, saying that he actually loves Afrobeat.
Oh, well, Wizkid has attained, I guess he feels he's gotten all the fame he wants. Afrobeat has been ingrained as a Nigerian thing. Nigerian artists have been able to push it as much as they have. In fact, the only reason the Western world is embracing Nigerian artists is because of the way Nigerian artists are able to play around Afrobeat music with the beats, to the lyrics and the pidgin English, everything that makes Afrobeat what it is. That's the only reason Nigerian artists are. I mean, you can't beat them in their own thing. You can't beat them in R&B. You can't beat them in rap. Do rap, speak English rap. You will only end up doing juju. Give me some fufu. You can't beat them. I'm sorry. That was a.
I didn't see that coming.
I did not see coming this morning.
I didn't see that coming.
You can't beat them.
Let me conclude that line for you.
Okay.
Oh man, he wasn't
even fair.
Oh God. Okay, but anyway.
You can't beat them if you want to do that.
Yeah.
True.
So do it your own way. Now, yes, he does other genre of music. Well, he's still known as one of the Afrobeat big guns right now. I think he should continue embracing it. You know, the question on my mind is he apprehensive that a Burna Boy, that he might be compared to a Burna Boy and maybe be swept somewhere? But Burna Boy is proudly carrying the Afrobeat flag.
Big time.
He's proudly carrying it. Wizkid, wish you all the best. Always, you do good music. You know, in as much, well, I still think his music is still, you know. To be honest, I think Wizkid is just favored.
Right.
Honestly speaking, I think he's favored. When you talk about anyway, let's not go into it. Let's not go into it. Great music, real music. If you want to compare him to Burna Boy is doing a whole lot better.
They say they won't try. Do you remember that track?
Burna Boy is doing a whole lot better.
Wow.
So Wizkid is also good.
I guess maybe he's also scared of the fact that the law of gravity is going to happen pretty soon. What goes up, so they must.
It always happens. Always happens.
And that is much you can take and entertainment news this morning. Up next is sports, and we have David Edwin, David E, to dish the sports. Don't go anywhere after this break.
Don't call him David E.
All right, welcome back. Let's just talk sports now. Following a successful day 8 at the ongoing African Games in Ghana, Nigeria has reclaimed second position on the medal table, and South Africa dropped into 4th, and Algeria securing 3rd place. Now, Nigeria had temporarily slipped to 3rd place after day 7, boasting about 54 medals. That's 22 golds, 13 silver, and 19 bronze medals. However, a notable performance on day 8 propelled the West African nation back to 2nd place, trailing behind Egypt. Now, South Africa, previously occupying 2nd place, experienced a significant drop to 4th position after failing to secure any medals on day 8, despite their previous day 7 successes. Despite Nigeria's resurgence, they remain behind Egypt, who continue to lead the medal table with an impressive total of 134 medals, including 76 gold, 31 silver, and 27 bronze medals. Algeria's strong showing on day 8 allowed them to climb to 3rd place, while Tunisia maintained their 5th position with 9 gold, 20 silver, and 29 bronze. Now, completing the top 10 are Mauritius, Eritrea, Madagascar, Morocco, and Cameroon. In contrast, host nation Ghana currently sits in 16th place on the medals table, securing just 1 gold, 3 silver, and 1 bronze medal. Well, I don't know if I should say that's a sad one. Well, they're the host nation. They should enjoy the fact that they should enjoy the fact that they are hosting. But then let's move on to another news where the Super Falcons of Nigeria, 9-time African champions, have experienced a slight decline in the latest FIFA Women's World Ranking. As reviewed by FIFA's official website for 2024, in a recent ranking, the Super Falcons dropped from the 32nd to the 34th position globally. Despite this dip, they maintain their position as the leading team in Africa, following closely behind the reigning African champions Bayana of South Africa, hold the 2nd position on the continent. Now, climbing 1 spot in the global ranking to 51st. Morocco secures the 3rd spot in Africa while standing at the 58th position globally. Zambia's Copper Queens made an impressive leap at 5 places, now positioned at 65th globally. Meanwhile, Spain, the reigning world champions, remains and of course maintains their top position in the global ranking. That's about it in the world of sports.
All right, and that's about it on our package this morning. But we must let you know that there are gift items to be won. All right, it's the Ramadan season. It's also the Lenten season. And so we're giving out gifts courtesy Viva Detergent. Now, Viva Detergent have provided us with some gifts to give away. So, a little question will be asked. Now, as you answer the questions, make sure you put the question and your answer underneath the live stream of this program and some of the shows. We'll sift through in the course of the day and winners will be picked. Now, we have 5 questions. 5 questions. If you're able to answer all 5, big winner you will be. If you're able to answer a few, oh well, something will come your way. All right. And whichever one it is, you will get something. So, first question is, what was the second topic treated this morning on VOP this morning? What was the second topic treated? Second topic. We touched on 3 things this morning, interestingly. But what was the second topic? Second question, the names of the anchors. Which of course I think we will say at the end of the day. So that's a giveaway. Third question, what program comes up at 7 to 8 p.m. every Thursday on VOP TV? I take that one again. What program comes up at 7 to 8 p.m. every Thursday on VOP TV? And fourth question, what time is the VOP TV major news? The time for the VOP TV major news. And lastly, what program comes on the air at 6 p.m.? All right, these are the questions. We'll have the questions on the screen shortly so you can look at them and know which ones exactly to respond to. And on social media, on other social media platforms, we are at VOP TV Live. And on YouTube, we are at Voice of the People TV. Well, that's the show for today. We are out of here. I'm Moses Humphrey, wishing you a beautiful day.
Fina Okechukwu saying enjoy the rest of your day and have a pleasant week.
David Edwin saying have an amazing day ahead. God bless Nigeria.